Hello out there in the interwebs, you have your tubes tuned to Colonel Brownie, and I'm still wondering. Yep, I just wanted to come back in and show you guys a couple more interesting things if you're going to be off wandering. Oh, that's my phone. Shut up, phone. Anyway, if you've played with like Biomes of Plenty or a couple other packs that have quicksand in them, you know that there's quicksand. And there's like 4 or 5 different types of quicksand in this game, in this mod pack. And this one here is apparently from artifacts, which is obnoxious. But this quicksand here, it's a liquid. You see that? You see how it flows? So if you want to get out of it, you gotta go over to the edge, break the block next to it, and hope you can hop out before it flows in. There's also, I'm not sure if I'm going to find any around here, but there's also poison ivy, which is never fun. Something that is fun, though, is not the sledge. I'm going to eat up some mutton here. I never showed you guys how the little poor man's flight ring thing works. So, it says that you can sneak on air, and that's a pretty accurate description. You can just hold shift to sneak, and you can just walk off into the air. And you can jump to climb. Now what it's actually doing, it's not actually letting you fly, it's creating invisible blocks underneath you. I discovered that because I went to one of the artifacts towers, and the anti-builder, anti-breaker, whatevers were getting upset at me. Climb the mud. So that's how this thing works, and you have to actually have it in your hand. If you try doing it without the ring in your hand, it's not going to work. There might be one that lets you do it for just having the ring equipped, but if it does, it's not this one. Speaking of the artifact towers, there's several different varieties of artifact towers. The one that I showed you is, I'd call it the fully functional one. That one, well, like my little name for it suggests, it is fully functional. It has the anti-builders, anti-breakers, and it functions kind of like a mini adventure map. The other ones do not have the anti-builder breakers in them, and they're usually a lot, they have a lot less stuff in general in them. Am I in a silk glade? I am in a silk glade. And I hear a zombie. Anyway, they have a lot less stuff in them too. There's one of them that, and they usually will have the iron doors on them, so you usually have to break in. But there was one of the more common ones is if you break the iron door, right in the very first room, it's going to be a big thing of illusionary blocks, which is obnoxious. But you just break them with a pick and put like dirt or something on top of the spikes, and you should be fine to go. What other little tricks? Oh, in that same kind of tower, there's usually a... go up to like the 2nd or 3rd floor, and there will be a little offshoot to a little bedroom. But the little walkway over to it will also be illusionary blocks. But if you're careful about it, you can kind of like hug the edge, and you will see a pedestal just inside the entrance, and you can get an artifact from it. Horses. Alright, well, that's about all I had to talk about for right this moment. I will go ahead and continue wandering, and I'll bring you back once I find something else of interest, little viewers. So I'll catch you in a second. And I'm back, little viewers, because I found something else of interest for those that wander. This is a magnanimous tree, made of magnanimous logs. Now, why is this an interesting thing, little viewers? Well, in the center of the tree, you have these kind of things. A special magnanimous log. And it drops those little magnanimous gem. I hope you're excited to hear the word magnanimous a lot, little viewers, because that is for the mod called Magnanimous Tools. And if you've played Tinker's Construct with the Iguana Tinker tweaks, you'll probably be pretty familiar with the basic concept behind it. Basically, you use these gems to make your tools, and they will level up like the Tinker's tools, except that you can't go and give them any specific bonuses. You just have to deal with whatever you get for random. And the way you make them is you use those gems to make magnanimous doohickeys. There's a magnanimous sword blade, a magnanimous hammerhead. You also need to make magnanimous sticks, which I don't think you can just make from those are just regular sticks. You need magnanimous sticks, which you only get from breaking the magnanimous leaves. So I'm probably not going to really mess around with it, unless I find a whole bunch of magnanimous trees off camera, because, well, like I said, the stuff that you need for it you can only find from these magnanimous trees, and they're not exactly easy to find. At least not when you're wandering like I am right now. And when you're wandering like I am right now, you probably aren't going to be able to take out the tree with any kind of ease either. There we go. Words are hard. Something else that's important to note for those of you who like to wander like I do is this pack has the journey map. You've probably noticed my little mini map up there in the top left. Well, you can expand that with J. That'll take you to a full screen map. And, ooh, I need to backtrack, because that thing right there, little viewers, that's a Thaumcraft thing, and it is very, very nice to have. Where am I? Okay, I only just missed it. Also looks like I just missed a village there. See, if you're gonna wander like this, little viewers, make sure you check your map every so often, because you might have missed stuff like that and like that. So I'm going to cut here for a second, and we will meet back at this thing, which is another thing that you should definitely keep your eye out for if you're wandering. So back in a second, loyal viewers. And I'm back, loyal viewers, and this is what I wanted to show you. This is a little Thaumcraft thing. It spawns, sometimes you'll get these nodes here, and it only spawns around certain ones. It seems like it has to be at a fairly high height. I think it has to be over Y85. You can see this one's at Y89. And they have a couple interesting things about them. One, they usually have a node. Two, they have a chest, which has all kinds of cool stuff in it, like some ender pearls, and some dark steel, and red heart, and things, and stuffs, and all kinds of things. They also, I can't really show you because my pick isn't good enough, but they also have, under the chest here, if you break, well, that, I don't think that'll break obsidian, will it? Let's see. Cool. Neat. I didn't know thaumium was good enough for obsidian. Alright, anyway, under here, they have a wisp spawner, which, boop, see, right there. Monster spawner, Thaumcraft wisp. It'll spawn all the different types of wisps that you can get, and if you're doing Thaumcraft, you know that it's a bit of a pain in the butt to get all the essences that you want. But if you have a matter transporter, which I don't have, it's just a couple of diamond pieces, which you can break a diamond into diamond nuggets, and some ender pearls. There you go. Oh, 2 ender pearls, 1 diamond nugget, and a stick. Get you a matter transporter. If I had one of those, I could just pick that right up, and once I settle down, I could just make myself a little wisp farm, and have all the essence I want for making stuff. I also really like those things because it seems like they very often will have thaumium ingots, which I like having thaumium for making tinker tools, because like paper, they give you an extra modifier, but they also are a lot better as tool parts than paper is. For example, you can have a thaumium tool rod, and it'll still be a pretty good tool. There's also that thing there. That's another Thaumcraft dealio. There's very often going to be cultists around these that you have to kill, and there's an evil node in the middle. That's part of one of the, I think it's one of the end bits of Thaumcraft. So we're not going to really do much with that. But looking back at our map, we need to go due south. Let's just follow this river for a little bit. And there's also, if you're going to be wondering, little viewers, another thing that you should be careful of is various pools. Because one thing that we do not have in this pack, we do not have Galactic Craft, and I'm pretty sure we don't have Buildcraft either. Which means we don't have oil in this pack. But if you're wandering around, you'll come across little black pools, and you go, oh cool, that's oil. Well, that's not oil, little viewers. It is actually sludge. You may also come across brown pools, which is sewage. I don't know why we have sludge and sewage showing up as regular liquids on the overworld, but we do. And you don't want to really go diving into either of them. I think the sewage gives you all kinds of nasty stuff, and the sludge will poison you. We also have, very, very rarely, you'll come across a pool that's kind of colored like that thing. And that is actually a pool of poison. Which, well, it'll poison you. It doesn't usually last too long though, so it's not that terrible. But it is still something you're going to want to look out for if you're going to be wandering. And we've got more villagers! And I'm hoping that this village has some farms. It looks like it doesn't. Because one thing that last village did have was farms, and I neglected to partake of the bread and such. Because I am going to want to have a whole bunch of seeds and things. What do we got in here? Not those kind of, well, those seeds are boring. Those are boring seeds, little viewers. Don't look as I get rid of them. Anything of particular interest in here? So normally I would be picking up the various obsidian pieces. Nah, I don't want to grab that. Anyway, I would normally be picking up the various obsidian pieces because in most packs, obsidian's a bit of a pain in the butt to pick up. But, well, one, I have my little Thaumcraft pick here that I can use to get obsidian. But also, we have, as I said before, we have Ex Nihilo in this pack. And one thing that you can do with Ex Nihilo is you can make at least a little bit of obsidian really, really easy. You use some barrels, and you just put some lava in a barrel, you put some water on top of the barrel, and then you just pull a chunk of obsidian out of the barrel. And that's a really tiny little village. That looks like that was it. Anyway, I like having obsidian because obsidian, aluminum, and iron makes a very nice all-around alloy called alumite. And we'll get more into that once I actually, settle down and am prepared to make a base. So, that's it for this part. What else can I do? We're gonna continue wandering, and my wanderer strategy is I used to just wander in a straight line, which usually ends up being a big old meander across the map. But what I've taken to doing is start from wherever my center point is and go out radially. Now, since I have an ocean on one side, I've just been going back and forth. And at the moment, I am coming back this way. And yes, you can make waypoints with the journey map, and you can also teleport to your waypoints on the journey map, which makes it nice because there's something I want to do with that wasteland, but it'll be a long time before I'm able to do anything with it. And who knows how long I'm going to wander for. So I'll be able to eventually teleport back to the wasteland to get what I want from it. And if you're going, Kennel, you're weird. What could you possibly want from wasteland? Well, it has to do with my inspiration, loyal viewers. And no, it's not Fallout, though that could be a fun inspiration for for a build. But no, my inspiration is actually from a different video game, a very, very old video game. And that'll be all the hints for that. So I will see you in a moment once I find something else interesting, loyal viewers. Catch you in a second. And here we have another hazard for those with wanderlust. This is a taint biome. That's a thing from Thaumcraft, which is, I'm not sure if, anyway, Taint. Not good stuff. If you have ever done much with Thaumcraft, you'll know how dangerous that stuff can be. Basically, it just corrupts the land around it, and it will slowly spread. Makes it very obnoxious. If you're going to be making a base somewhere, you probably don't want to do it in a taint biome. I hope I can go around it. I really don't like taint biomes. They're obnoxious. I actually I've had times where my spawn area was a taint biome. Yeah, that was fun. Well, looks like it's not a gigantic taint biome at least. Oh yeah, something else about this ring here. I told you that it works by placing invisible blocks below you. Well, remember that that it will not work if you're standing in like grass and stuff, because it thinks there's already a block there, so it doesn't want to place one. Let's go ahead and climb. What is this? A mountain. Am I climbing? Come on. There we go. There we go. Now we're climbing. It also looks like it's about time for me to go to bed. Even though I have some iron armor, which I made to try to take on some endermen, because hey, ender pearls. Ender pearls are a very important commodity in this mod pack, loyal viewers. Very, very important commodity indeed. If you're lucky, when you're wandering around like I am now, inside the various treasure chests that you will probably come across, you can hopefully find some ender lily seeds. And they grow on ender cores, and I'm not sure if they grow faster on those than they do on end stone, which is what I usually grow them on. You can make ender cores with some ender infused obsidian and some magic wood, but we'll get into that later. For now, dang, stupid taint biome. Go away. No one likes you, taint biome. Alright, well, I will be back once I see something else interesting, loyal viewers. Catch you in a second. And I'm back, loyal viewers, and I think I'm just about done wandering. I'm in one of my favorite biomes, actually. This is a magical forest biome. And I just think they're really cool, because there's also a couple of things in here that are really difficult to get elsewhere, and sometimes you can't get elsewhere. Like what? Well, like this mana bean. I'll just take those. Those will also only grow in a magical forest biome. There's also moss stone everywhere, which makes it really easy to get the auto repair on your tools. There's also these guys, V-shrooms. They're a Thaumcraft thing. They are... probably most people see them as just obnoxious things, because if you step on one, you'll get nausea. But they are one of the few things that actually has the magical V in it. This, whatever you want to call it. And you need the magical vis to make thaumium. And I like having a little bit of thaumium around. It looks like it's not going to be a gigantic magical forest, but it'll work enough. And another thing, there's also usually wisps will actually spawn in here at night. So again, it's just another little cool thing. Got a little bit of lava. I might make my little temporary base down here. It's right about in the middle of it, and I can just dig straight into the wall there. And just grab a bunch of these V-shrooms. Alright, so I have no idea what I'm gonna do next, loyal viewers. But I do know that I think that'll just about do it for this episode. What have we done? Well, we've wandered around a bit more, and we found a place to get at least our starting base going. I'm gonna keep wandering around and punching those V-shrooms. And what are we gonna do next? I think... what am I gonna do next? Probably just get some basic stuff going. Try to get some storage. I might make a couple of gigantic chests to put stuff in. And I probably will get at least a little bit into Botania, because that's another mod that I really enjoy. Pick up the mushroom. There we go. Getting a little bit of frame rate issues in here. It's partially why I'm going to be building in a void world. Yes, the last millennium is a void world, and this magical forest isn't too bad. Oh, there's another thing though that you should keep an eye out for when you're wandering around. If you see a greatwood tree with some spiderwebs on it, that is an infested greatwood tree. And down here on the bottom somewhere, there it is a cave spawner spider. Cave spider spawner. Words are difficult, loyal viewers. And awesome, ender lily seeds. That was actually something that I did not find when I was wandering around, and those are very good to have. Get some more dimlets. Get a friggin' golden apple. Heck yeah. Pick up a little bit more bread. I found another village off camera, and it had another iron building. So we've got iron coming out of our ears, loyal viewers. And that'll be very nice. And there's a little bit more aluminum ore over there. Alright, so I'm probably going to do at least a little bit of stuff off camera just to have some pretension of organization. So, until next time, loyal viewers, I shall catch you on the flip side. Laters.